Chapter 430, A Brand New Day. Twilight Hermit Order. What kind of organization is it? Why haven't I heard of it? When Mr. Hanged Man was filling me in on the general knowledge of the various factions, he didn't even mention anything about this. Audrey was both surprised and confused. As the gray fog faded away, Mr. Fool's aloof figure had vanished. Her eyes darted around as she quickly made a guess. This organization, known as the Twilight Hermit Order, sounds even more powerful and mysterious than the other underground powers, such as the Aurora Order and the Life School of Thought. It's so unknown that even the knowledgeable and experienced Mr. Hanged Man, who's closely related to the Church of Storms, doesn't know of its existence. And their plot was directed at a powerful noble of the kingdom, one of the most powerful people in the world. They might be the observers hidden in the deepest depths of the Beyonder world, the true controllers. They influence the situation of the northern and southern continents, so it's no wonder that they would be noticed by Mr. Fool. The last time Mr. Hanged Man successfully got his blessed to help wasn't because the promised reward was sufficiently high, but because Mr. Fool himself was targeting Twilight Hermit Order. This organization is as mysterious as our tarot club. Audrey, for some inexplicable reason, became a little excited, and this diluted the impact Duke Negan's assassination had on her. There definitely aren't a lot of Beyonders who know of the existence of the Twilight Hermit Order. And I'm one of them, and we, the Tarot Club, are targeting them. Audrey stood up and walked to the full-body mirror in front of her. She raised her chin slightly, showing an abnormally beautiful angle. Staring at the girl in the mirror, Audrey slowly calmed down. This was the first time she felt it was imperative that she quickly raised her sequence. Even Duke Negan, a Beyonder under tremendous amounts of protection, can be assassinated, let alone Father, who's just an ordinary person. Although based on the family vault situation, there are definitely many Beyonders in the family, and the Church of the Goddess will also provide additional protection. However, this doesn't ease my heart. Duke Negan's guards aren't any weaker than what we have. All the best, Audrey. Get to sequence 7 as soon as possible, then sequence 6, and then hide in the darkness. I'll be my father, mother, and brother's last line of defense. The capital of the Rorstad Archipelago, the city of generosity. The Blue Avenger was once again passing by, moored at the port, giving sailors a chance to indulge and vent. Alger Wilson changed into a robe embroidered with storm patterns and went to the largest cathedral on the archipelago, the Cathedral of Waves. It was classical in style, and it mostly used stone pillars and arch structures, and it had a towering dome and 2 clock towers. In the early days of colonization, the pioneers often had no time to build a cathedral, which brought about very serious consequences for them. Surrounded by tribes, jungles, and ancient buildings, they would often die mysteriously in great numbers for no reason at all, even after they had conquered the region. This situation, which had caused a great panic, gradually deteriorated after the cathedrals of the various churches were built, becoming something that happened only once in a while. Standing in front of the cathedral, Alger was in no hurry to enter. Instead, he looked through the narrow windows at the dark and mysterious atmosphere and the warm candlelight that illuminated the activity area. A few seconds later, he entered the grand prayer hall, clenched his right fist, and struck his left chest. He turned to the bishop facing him and said, "May the storm be with you." "May the storm be with you," the bishop responded in the same way. Without waiting for Alger to speak, the bishop of the Cathedral of Waves took out a telegram. "You're just in time. The Council of Cardinals has issued orders. Read it before praying." "What orders?" Alger asked casually as he reached out to take it. The bishop's expression was grave as he said, "Duke Negan has been assassinated. The Council of Cardinals has ordered all mandated Punisher and priests to pay attention to anything regarding the hero bandit Black Emperor, as well as all the matters related to the tarot ritual." Hero bandit Black Emperor. Alger perfectly expressed his surprise. He already knew that the Black Emperor was Mr. Fool's blessed. The bishop said with a serious nod, "The assassin of Duke Negan is a Sequence 5 devil, but while escaping, he was killed by hero bandit Black Emperor." This is the same outcome as Vice Admiral Kalangos, who failed to assassinate the Duke. Not only are the superficial circumstances the same, but even the core issues are the same. It was also Mr. Fool's Blessed who killed Kalangos, another Blessed. Was Mr. Fool the one who really wanted Duke Negan dead? No, if it were really him, then he would have warned Kalangos the last time to be careful of Miss Justice, so as to not expose his identity on the spot. Mr. Fool is paying attention to the truth behind the assassination and the real murderer. Who could it be? Or which organization would receive so much attention from Mr. Fool? Alger instantly thought of many things and made a preliminary judgment. He looked down at the telegram and saw that the church had set up a special investigation team for the assassination of Duke Negan. Every member was an elite of the mandated punishers. Should I apply to join, so as to have a grasp of their actions at any time? Alger hesitated for a moment. In the end, he decided to follow his original plan and keep a low profile. With a brand new day, Klein slept until he woke up naturally. He slowly got up, washed his face, and went downstairs. He wasn't in a hurry to prepare breakfast. Instead, he habitually opened the door, bathed in the fog, and took out today's newspaper from the letterbox. What is it? Suddenly, he noticed that there was a thick envelope stuffed inside the newspaper. It wasn't light at all. Squeezing the surface, Klein's mind flashed with the faint fragrance of banknote ink. His spiritual intuition told him that there was a lot of cash inside. Carefully, he opened it and pulled out the stack of money. After counting the money, he confirmed that there was a total of £1,000. It's the reward money from the machinery hive mind. Is this their way of secretly handing me the money? How can they be so certain this is fine? Leaving it in my mailbox just like that? What happens if it's stolen? The delighted Klein couldn't help but grumble. With this money, and without the machinery hive mind protecting him in secret, he could go to vampire Emlyn White to complete the previous transaction. After breakfast, Klein immediately put on his coat and hat, held his cane, and stuffed the newspaper in his arm and went out. On his way to the carriage stop, he saw his landlord, Mrs. Stellan Sammer, directing the maid to load the suitcase into the carriage in front of the door. "Good morning, Mrs. Sammer," Klein smiled and greeted her. Stellan smiled modestly and returned the greeting. She seems to have recovered mentally. Who knows what happened to her? Klein curiously asked, "Where are you going?" "It's almost New Year's. Mary gave Luke some time off in advance. We're going to Daisy Bay to usher in the new year," Stellan said proactively. "Sigh, we've been to a few of the cities there, including the famous coastal towns. This time, we're preparing to go to Fainapotter. I've heard that the scenery in Seville City is quite good." Klein replied in jest, "How enviable." "What about you, Detective Moriarty? Where do you plan on spending the new year?" Stellan asked with a smile. "I'm probably staying here." "Oh, right. I have to prepare some tools to repair the wall which Stuart had previously shot a hole in." Klein smirked and said, "Back to Midseashire, where the winter smells different." The smile on Stellan's face became even more obvious. "I hope to meet you at Daisy Bay in future New Year's Eve celebrations." South of the bridge, Rose Street, Harvest Church. Upon seeing Detective Sherlock Moriarty in his black tweed coat, Emlyn White, who was carefully wiping the candle stand, smiled. He combed his hair, walked over with his head held high, and said in a low voice, "There's information on Jason Berea. A sanguine knows him." "I have his information as well." Klein smiled as he handed the newspaper over. The headline read, "Yesterday, His Grace the Duke of Negan assassinated, a true devil plundering the land." Beneath the title was a detailed description of the assassination yesterday, and it revealed that the murderer was a banker named Patrick Jason who was killed on the spot, and the terrorist organization, the Aurora Order, claimed responsibility. When he saw the news earlier, Klein, who was having his breakfast, almost spewed out the milk in his mouth. At first, he imagined that the Aurora Order's Mr. A was brain damaged to take responsibility for this matter. However, after thinking about it carefully, he felt that it was most likely a cover used by the officials. If the Twilight Hermit Order is really the ancient organization which Emperor Roselle joined, then they would be extremely hostile towards the Aurora Order. After all, they hate the true creator. This thought suddenly flashed through Klein's mind. Emlyn looked blankly at the newspaper again and again before asking in disbelief. Does this mean the information I got is useless? In theory, Klein gave the vampire gentleman a sympathetic look. However, the official organizations are still investigating the masterminds behind Jason Barea. If your information points in the right direction, it should be of worth. As for Klein himself, he obviously didn't want to get involved in this matter anymore. No, he only knew Jason Barea and some of his hobbies. Emlyn sighed. Seeing his reaction, Klein asked in amusement, "Don't you usually read newspapers? How did you only learn of such an important matter until now?" Emlyn gave him an odd glance. "Why should I read the newspapers? I'm very busy. Busy cleaning the Harvest Church, busy spending time with those dolls you have at home, and busy thinking of ways to trick people into giving you blood to drink. You really are a New Age vampire." Klein opened his mouth, but he used his clown powers to suppress the laughter he was about to let out. He didn't tease Emlyn White and said seriously, "I've already gathered enough money for those 2 ingredients. When can you give them to me?"